Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here. I really do appreciate every one of us here. So my name is Abbas Ibukwe. I am a venture builder and I, of course, facilitate global trading as well. I lead TechField. It's a venture support and research platform. So this is going to be a very interacting and, of course, interesting session. Thank you. So I'll leave everyone to do a very brief intro. So you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I see this room is predominantly dominated with students. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. My name is Wofai Samuel. I'm the Acting Director General of the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm pleased to be here as well. It's been a long time I've been in the presence of the future, right? So, my name is Anthony Usifo, and I'm the director in Previda Power. We're a renewable energy business, in the forefront of the renewable energy business in the country. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lowe. I'm a doctor, CEO of, founder of Dr. Connect. We are a health tech in Nigeria, US, and Qatar. Thank you.
All right, so it's safe to say we all have experts here. Are we correct? All right, so like I mentioned, it's going to be interacting. It's also going to be quite interesting as well. So talking about global trade or intracontinental trade, this is something I really love, right? Because I work with data, I work with statistics as well. So if you look at Africa, we only sit below 3% of global trading volume. That's very poor. So I keep mentioning this. So there's a need, considering our population as a continent, there's a need for us to start trading globally. You know that thing we used to say, local champion. So if you're trading locally, I don't think it's really the best thing for us to do now. So that's the reason we're going to be exploring strategies for us to go offshore, how we can get into global markets, how we can build multinationals, right? So for Dr. Wufai, it's quite amazing that, I mean, you are bridging the gap between the American business ecosystem and, of course, what we have here in Nigeria. So my first question now is, what are the specific challenges you think that businesses face? And this is for startups and, of course, for SMEs, right? So what are the specific challenges you think businesses face when they want to scale globally, right? So when they want to go global, for instance, if I want to set up in the US, if I want to tap into the UK markets, the EU markets, what do you think are those challenges that I, as a business person, am going to be facing?
Thank you. Thank you once again. So in very simple, I'll try as much as I can to break down my responses in very simple terms, knowing fully well, like I mentioned, that the majority of persons in this room are students. Of course, this is also streaming live. So at the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, what do? We facilitate, we're more like the bridge in between trade, Nigeria, America. So if you're looking to do business with USA, you come to us. We link you to businesses in USA. If you're seeking funding from them, investments, we link you to these organizations, these communities, these diplomats in US. And if you're in US, you're trying to do business in Nigeria, you come to us. We link you to the right people you can do business with in Nigeria. So I'd say just last week, 2 weeks ago specifically, we brought in about 10 businesses from Illinois. It was a very successful mission. They came to Nigeria to see how they can work with Nigerian businesses in various sectors, from health, clean energy, manufacturing, construction, to name a few. So that's just the background as to what we do. Although initially I was informed that I was going to be speaking on trade between French Africa and English Africa, that's Anglophone, Francophone. So this subject matter is just coming on the top of my head. To respond directly to your question, how can we possibly enhance trade in Nigeria on the global scene? It's quite complicated and it's very simple. So how do I break this down? For entrepreneurs and businesses in Nigeria who are seeking to expand, first of all, before you expand globally, you need to expand within your reach. We've heard so much about intra-African trade. I've been opportune, to travel with African Export Import Bank, that's South Africa, and they are very particular about intra-African trade. Just last week, I was speaking to businesses in Nigeria trading within themselves. How do we trade within ourselves? If we're able to trade within ourselves, then we can seek to expand trade globally. But to respond, okay, but to respond to your question directly, I'll just speak to three factors. If you're looking at trading globally, the first thing is target audience. Who are the target audience you're looking at globally? Are you looking at the people on the upper cadre? Are you looking at the people middle class? Or are you looking at people, very basic people who can afford very basic commodities? For instance, when you look at the products that Dangote sells, you're talking about Dangote salt. Any household in Nigeria can afford Dangote salt. You're talking about cement, Dangote cement. You're not talking about any household in Nigeria who can afford Dangote cement. You're talking about middle class people or people on the upper cadre. So the first thing is, if you want to sell to the global markets, who are your target audience? You need to understand who your target audience are. Try as much as you can to study about your target audience, and then you can design and create a product that fits into that target audience. Then the second thing I'd like to say is cultural norms. So various communities, various societies, various countries are different. How it works in Nigeria is totally different with how it works in Benin Republic, how it works in Ghana, and then talk more of a complicated market like the US. So you need to also understand what the US audience or the US market wants. What do they want in terms of packaging, in terms of labeling, in terms of content? What do they want? Study, 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 research, research, research. Ask questions, network with people who are already in the business and understand what the market wants. If you're able to tailor your products to what the market wants, then you can scale. Again, like I mentioned, these are the basics. And then the final, what's the word now? The final factor I would say I would be looking at is funding. If you're looking at scaling your business globally, that's nearly impossible if you don't have funding. And so specifically for countries like the US, they have the AGWA. AGWA is African Growth and Opportunities Act. Unfortunately, it's coming to an end in 2025, and some people are advocating, some organizations are advocating that AGWA be extended. If you do not have the funding, it's difficult to scale globally, internationally. So now, what are your numbers saying? For your businesses, the business you're doing in Nigeria, what's the volume of business? What are the numbers saying? What are the prospects? Who are the people funding the business? Who are the people patronizing your business, speaking to your clientele? Do you have that clientele? Do you have enough money to deal with the market tariffs, the taxes, and so many other requirements and requisites that comes with the international community? So in summary, I would say understand the market, define your target audience, and then try as much as you can to review your funds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, too. Now, I would have loved us to go a little bit in depth in terms of policy and a whole lot. Maybe we're going to come back to that. So, to our next panelist, we're going to be talking about intra-African trading right now, right? So, if you look at globally, for instance, in Europe, they trade amongst themselves. At least about 69% of the trade is within Europe. The same thing in Asia, they have about, I think, 58% of more. But if we come back to Africa, we only do less than 40%. So these are concerns for me, right? If I want to trade with someone in Kenya, it's a little bit very difficult. If I want to transact with someone in Ghana, it's quite tedious, right? The issue of trust, credibility, and all of that. And then these are some of the core reasons why we even started this whole discussion, right? So I want to ask, with courtesy of your experience, and I mean, you've been in the industry for a while, so what do you think are the best thing we can do to increase the rate of trading between African countries, right? If I want to trade with anyone within Africa. Thank you, sir.
I think that's a very, very good and pertinent question. I've had some experience, with some bit of trading in Africa. For instance, my company Previda, we have gone to Cameroon, where we've acquired quite a large portfolio of renewable energy. We've created a pipeline there of about 600 megawatts of wind and solar. We've basically done a lot of feasibility and done some development work for about 150 mini grids. And in fact, my colleague and partner was there just a couple of days on commencing pilot on 7. So it's a place where we have ventured. And I think, first let me just state a couple of some of the challenges with with Africa trade. I mean, a number of us might know that, but one is connectivity with respect to flights, even. To fly to Cameroon, um, you'll be surprised. I mean, the first time I went, that was when I knew there was an airline called Askai. You get so only a few flights, and then you might even be hopping from before you get to Douala or Yaoundé. You have to hop to another Benin Republic or somewhere. I mean, in the past, sometime many years back, you actually had to go to France before you connect to Cameroon from Nigeria. So it's so flight connectivity is a challenge, and we need. You see, this is not a government problem. To be honest with you, we just need people in the airline industry to just take up that challenge and add more frequencies, because there are a number of people who do businesses there. Just scope the opportunity there and move there. I don't think there are challenges with respect to if you want to add another, what's it called, another flight to that place. The other thing, of course, is the currency convertibility. Now, it's only a few places. Maybe if you come to the airport, go to some bureau de changes, then you can convert your naira. But typically, like everywhere, if someone came from Cameroon and presented CFA to you, you will not collect. But if you presented USD, you will gladly pick it up. So that convertibility is a challenge across Africa. We should be able to just easily convert currencies, and change them at will. That should make trade, quite easy. But that isn't there yet. I think, of course, the other one, of course, is language, which is also something that there are several. I mean, in the Francophone-Africa and Anglophone-Africa, and I actually think the Francophone-Africa people are more, they connect a lot more because they're almost bilingual, while we only just speak English. But they speak French and they easily learn English better than us. So for the Nigerian business person going across, some of the things we've done is to hire an interpreter when we're going. So the interpreter joins us, which is another expense, of course. So and the interpreters are not good interpreters, sometimes who almost act like a PA, are not, they don't come cheap. So you have to engage a good quality one that can be in the meetings, do proper interpretations, understand the business direction you're going, to. So even though that's a layer of challenge, but those are some of the things you need to do to be able to, engage properly and win, in the business field. Now, challenges are fine, but one of the things we must do in Africa is to go beyond all of these challenges. And first, I will say we have to be curious. Now, you have to be curious enough to want to go to Ghana to trade, right? And see the opportunities that are there. Nobody's going to come and bring opportunities in front of you. So we have to all be curious. In Europe, there is a lot of curiosity where people go across the Eurozone and trade. We need to be curious and wait for business opportunities to come and sit on your lap. So curiosity is quite important for businesses. And I will also say you have to also look at areas of opportunities that you think you will be able to serve across other parts of Africa, especially if you've been able to gain some level of expertise in the business in your home country. So if in Nigeria you've gained some capability and expertise, then you can begin to think, okay, how can I transfer this capability across another country? So that with that confidence and that capability, you're able to go like we've done to Cameroon to engage. And one of the things I found is that, you see, in some places in Africa, You need to understand the regulatory environment and understand that, shed away some of your maybe Nigerianness, right? And know that if you go to this place, understand the regulation. If you follow through with the regulation, which can sometimes be a bit stringent, you'll be able to get across and do what you need to do. Sometimes, the same thing in Nigeria, if you follow through proper regulation, you should be able to, get across to some of the things you need to get across and engage in. So understanding the regulation is very important. Go with the mindset that you want to understand this, get people who understand it to take you through, and then you'll be able to, get your business dealings done properly. I also, from my experience also in across, the couple of countries in Africa, I think even engaging with officials is a lot easier, right? In those places, it's easy to meet the director generals of a ministry, maybe even the minister. It's the protocols are not too much, at least from my own experience. So I think first of all, as I've said, once you understand your business in your home country, then you need to start seeking how you can go ahead to other countries to those capabilities. In fact, lastly, just yesterday, we were speaking with some parties in St. Kitts in the Caribbean. And interestingly, one of the things they wanted to check with us was, so what have you done in Nigeria? What have you delivered? What's your bona fides? What have you accomplished? What are your capabilities? Because it is, if you've done it at home, then people will trust that you'll be able to transfer those capabilities outside. So it's always good, my view is always good to first, build that capability and then be able to transfer it. In the area of convertibility and remittances, I think there are a lot of young people in fintech that are already doing some good work in that area, trying to help with, fund transfer, especially between East Africa, West Africa, and the likes. So the point is this: if I'm going to say anything, let's forget about, and that will be the theme of let's forget about all the challenges. We know that they are there, but every challenge provides an opportunity, because what we have on the other side are gold mines. If you can overcome those challenges, be curious to know what's going on the other side, then we'll be able to, have good trades, across, Africa. And I think that will be the theme of all I'm going to be saying. Let's forget about all the challenges. They are there, but we can overcome them with a lot of, effort from our own side. Thank you.
Thank you. That was quite amazing. So I'll still add a question. It's about the fact that people say that the Francophone African market is opaque. I'll come back to that. All right, sir. When we first spoke about Dr. Connect, one thing that caught my attention was the fact that you're building from the US for Africa. So one thing I want to know is, can you just enlighten us a little bit how that works, how you can build from the US for African markets, and how you're able to navigate all of the challenges that are there?
Thank you so much. Well, it's good to be on this panel, knowing the doc over here, so I'll be talking to you because I know there's a lot that we can do together. So we started Dr. Connect in the United States in 2019, 2020, and we were forced to move it to Nigeria. We're very blessed in this part of the world that our regulations are not as stringent as what operates over there. During COVID, if I built Dr. Connect fully in the US, it wouldn't have been alive today, because so many things were going crazy, and it would have consumed ton of money. So March of 2020, we moved Dr. Connect operation to Lagos, and using our technology from the US and all that, but we actually built Dr. Connect in Nigeria. So, like the doc said, it's so important to know yourself, to know your worth, and to know what you're doing. If you know your market very well, you know your operation very well, you will be in demand. Now we're back in the US because we built it for there, move it to Nigeria, able to make it work. If anything works in Africa, it's going to work anywhere. And we quickly grew the Dr. Connect to over 61,000 users in Nigeria and growing. And we were contacted by Qatari government to come in, to look at what we're doing, look at the technology, providing soft landing and money there. And then it's just amazing. Looking at, now I'm going to be talking to my friend here, what America can do for me, because I am coming from over there to come and to expand our operation in Nigeria. And to kind of buttress to what they've been saying, one of the things that is we're having issues with moving from one African country to another African country is, number one, we need chambers of commerce that can open doors for us. If Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, Nigerian Ghana Chambers of Commerce goes and say, hey, Dr. Connect is coming to Ghana, what can you do to help there? Then it's much more easier. Then number two, within our African community, if it's not a light in or Oyibo, we don't we put so much respect on what they bring to us rather than what we have among ourselves. You know, it was so shocking when now I don't claim that we're a US startup. I claim that we're a Nigerian startup, and the technology is working in the US. Though the technology is in the US, but you spinning it as a Nigerian technology, it's going crazy. We've just been accepted to the American Art Association in the US in their Tech Hub Innovation, which is one of the most prestigious innovation hub that you can be accepted into. So it's your grit, your work, your hard work, knowing what you want to do, and do not accept this inferiority complex that you cannot do. So Dr. Connect is here, a Nigerian startup company rocking. We were in Egypt 3 weeks ago. The Egyptians are asking us, we have partnership developing over there that want to work with us. So we can do it from Nigeria to the world.
Thank you. So that's quite amazing. So you can put your hands together for everyone here. All right. So finally, I think what we can actually get from here is the fact that we can scale from Africa, right? We can scale from Nigeria, and then we can build global startups or ventures from here. So finally, I have these. I really love the Francophone market, right? And there's about 430 million persons right in there. But that market is opaque. People don't really know much about that. So I just need a collective opinion from everyone. What are the best strategies to get into the market? You spoke about Cameroon, and of course the DRC sits at about good population, right, with enormous opportunities as well. So I just want some strategies on how to be able to trade with those guys, right? I know we have language barriers and the rest of the stuff. So how do we really navigate all of that? That's going to be the last. And I just need opinion from almost everyone. Thank you.
Speaking to Francophone-Africa, like you mentioned, I didn't even know the numbers of people have populated to more
It's
than
about
400.
430.
Yes, I thought it was slightly over 300 million, so that's a lot. Now, Africa has the highest number of French-speaking people globally. We have the highest numbers, 300 million. Over 300 million is a lot. And if we keep talking about intra-African trade, you know, Africa trading with itself, Africa is coming up with the AFCFTA, that's the African Continental Free Trade Area, where we need to maximize and sell our goods and products. Then, as much as we can, English have to trade with French. French would have to trade with English. So in my opinion, I do think one of the easiest way to break barriers is, as much as you can, try networking with French Africans. So recently, for instance, we were in Rwanda. We're sponsored by the USAID to Rwanda to discuss a few policy issues regarding youths in West Africa. And one thing I noticed in Rwanda was Rwanda is now visa free. The last time I was in Rwanda, I had to use visas, but now I realize that Rwanda is visa free. So it creates that connectivity for anybody who is able to travel to Rwanda for business to do business. So now, local content in French Africa. Do you have people who are business savvy and businessmen and women in French Africa? Try as much as you can to connect and network with them. So my colleague right here did speak extensively about getting interpreters, using translators. That's also a very good way to break these barriers. But like I did mention, I'm more about networking. I'm more about, building local content. There's no way you understand the environment more than the natives and locals that live in there. So I noticed I used to be a part of that huge divide back in the day. When I see people who speak French, I just feel like they're totally different from me. We don't really have anything in common until I started getting classes, leadership, diversity, inclusion classes from USAID, from the US mission in Nigeria. They've contributed immensely, anyways, to my career. I'm never ashamed to speak about them wherever I go. So that taught me deeply about diversity and inclusion. I took it to business. We have to be inclusive. We cannot say we're trying to be a progressive. We're referred to as a third world continent, and indeed we are third world. But we're making progress, gradually shifting from becoming third world. We're getting industrialized. For us to attain our full potential of industrialization, attain our full potential of maximizing the benefits of AFCFTA, we must be inclusive. We must be diverse. And the only way you can be diverse and inclusive is when you're able to relate and connect with local people. So when I say local people, I'm saying local content. Who are the French people who are into business? How much of them do you know? Are you networking with them on LinkedIn? Are you networking with them on various other social media platforms? These are like very practical ways you can interface with these people. Then the final one I would like to speak about is research, access to research and knowledge. You did mention just now that we have over 400 officials across Africa who are French speaking. I thought it was 300 million, slightly above. You've just given me intelligence now. You've just given me an idea. It's research, access to knowledge. As much as you can, if we have to break the barrier between Francophone and Anglophone, we must be able to get access to information. Research about these countries, research about these people. What do they do? What is business like? What are the regulatory frameworks in these countries like? What are the norms? What are the cultural barriers? What are their ethics? If we're able to understand all of this, I'm sure that gradually we'll be able to make progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think, do you have anything to add? You can go ahead. Yeah. Just go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, I think you've made some excellent points. Networking is actually very important. If I might just add a tweak to what she said, um, understanding the language is very important. I mean, language breaks every barrier. I'm telling you, it just completely breaks it, and then you are all on the same protocol. I actually, after some of the frequent trips, I started, learning some bit of French, but sometimes those things don't come easy. For some people, learn languages pretty easy, but for some others, you really need to knock your head a lot to be able to get in stuff. But it's very important to learn. I try to learn, and so trying to understand that is very important. And then the other thing again, one of the things is to also hire. So we set up an SPV to be able to manage that, and hired some people there. So we hiring locals, in fact, we have a network of locals in those countries that help us. We continue to engage them on what is happening, what's on ground, and all of that. So when we come in, there are a number of people who are on ground, who are able to come in, provide all kinds of support. And so there's nothing like having local support, especially when you go there, and not just one off, on ground, always connecting with you. So they're able to provide you with all manner of ongoings. It's almost like someone coming into Nigeria from somewhere else, and you have Nigerian contacts. It may not be permanent employees, but third-party workforce that you have, that you always engage in, and they can always tell you what's happening on ground, what are the changes that are going on. If there are changes that are happening, they send you quick emails, they send you quick WhatsApp messages. Oh, there's this policy that has changed. Can you look at this? And today, right, interpreting documents has become very easy with all kinds of applications and AI. Exactly. So In fact, that has actually made a lot of things a lot easier now. So you don't have some of those challenges. And then even I used to be, it used to be a lot of trepidation going to when you're alone without your interpreter with another person. But today there's so many tools that helps you, get by, have a good conversation with someone else, two different people, you don't understand the same language, but you're able to use those tools to be able to interpret quickly what they've said and then communicate at least to be able to get across. But language is important. Having local support and staff is very important. So in terms of quick strategies that you can use to break in, I think those two are quite important. And of course, if you're going to be doing anything again, joining any of their chambers of commerce if it's available, that's pretty important. And this is one area where it's almost as if it's providence that has brought you here today. So
Just going to add one or two things. Travel is part of education. I've been able to travel few places in my life, fortunate. And when I go to these places, what I look for is what can I do here? And believe me, there are a lot of opportunities in the Francophones. If you've done any accelerator, you've been in accelerators, you will meet people and you will meet talents that can guide you wherever you go. Then number two, I want you to be proud to be a Nigerian. My family, I've been here since December 11th, and my friends in the US are like, "Are you staying over there?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm coming. I've been there for over 30 years. I'm coming back home." In the Francophone country, you'll be so shocked that what we've done in Nigeria and been forgotten is what is just becoming a gig there. So if you just venture to go out there, visit whatever idea you have, you run it by people over there, you might be surprised how powerful that little idea you think is already gone. Nigeria, we are the best in the world, in Africa, and that's why we're attracting a lot of investment from the Western world. The Americans are bringing billions of dollars here. So be proud to be a Nigerian, and let's go take the whole of Africa, Francophone, Anglophone, whatever it is. I was in a program yesterday with France company. They picked 7 countries in Africa they're gonna be talking to and be funding, and we're one of them. So they're looking for you. Go and get them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's quite amazing. So in summary, we can start building a global company from Nigeria, right? And then we can also do that from Africa. Now, it does not really depend from where you are. So you start networking using LinkedIn, getting into Chamber of Commerce and all of that. There are a lot of opportunities out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
all right.
Thank you. So you all young students, use LinkedIn as much as you can, please. Network with all of us on LinkedIn. Connect with people as much as you can. Never be afraid to ask for opportunities. If you need something, link up on LinkedIn and request. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, if you are not on LinkedIn, you are not living.
If you're not on LinkedIn, you're not living. Let's put hands together again. Let's put hands together again for our panelists. Wofai Samuel, Anthony, Dr. Joseph, Abbas, thanks for sharing your time with us. That was very insightful. That's just giving me the prompt to go reactivate my LinkedIn so that I can go to the land of the living. Thanks a lot for that session.